Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Captain Muffin here, and today we have a lot to unpack about the upcoming Flight Simulator 2024 that's going to be releasing on November 19th. So before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more Flight Sim content. I would really appreciate it. So if you guys don't know, FS Expo has happened recently, and a few days ago the Microsoft Flight Sim dev team kind of came out and gave us loads of information regarding the new simulator that they're going to be releasing, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So major news is that they have confirmed that we're going to have a 737 MAX default aircraft in the sim, and Sobo said that it's going to be their most detailed and most realistic aircraft to date, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Hopefully the door doesn't fly off on this version of the simulator though. And also, even though we already kind of expected this, they confirmed that we're going to have a default A330 that's going to be made by any builds in the sim. So I think for that sim, the short to medium haul aircraft is going to be the 737 MAX, and the long haul is going to be the A330, similar to how we kind of had the 747 and the A320 in the current Flight Simulator 2020. Also, they announced that the current Flight Sim 2020 is going to be receiving updates all the way until 2028, so that you don't really, if you want to stay on 2020, it'll be supported for quite a while. So some new features that they're going to be adding, they're going to add like a walking mode, which I'm really excited for because that'll allow you to kind of walk outside the plane, step outside the plane, and you're able to do a walk around and whatnot. You're able to remove like the covers of the aircraft, and overall I think it's just going to be a really exciting new feature. Also, another thing I'm really excited for has to be the 3D meshes that they're going to be adding to the sim. So if you noticed in the current Flight Simulator 2020, all of the ground textures are 2D, like not very detailed. If you get really close to the ground, it doesn't look too great, but with the new sim they've done a pretty great job. I'll show you guys some footage of the new sim, and the ground textures, I'm just really impressed. It looks like actual material, actual dirt, sand, whatever. So yeah, I'm really excited for the new graphical updates there. So along with new graphical updates, they're going to be adding ray tracing. If you can see inside the cockpit right now, the shadows don't look too great, but we're going to get some pretty crisp shadows. Ray tracing was definitely one of the things missing from this Flight Sim, so if you have one of the newer graphics cards, you'll definitely benefit from this change. So moving on, we have new biomes that are going to be added, so I suppose more distinct actual places with different climates, different vegetation and whatnot, which will definitely be better for VFR flying, really, when you get close to the ground and see the environment and those kind of things. And then for the IFR flyers, of course, we have new cloud types, especially cirrus clouds, which are gonna be looking pretty nice when you're flying up high there. So additionally, to go along with the new clouds, we have a new lighting engine, which brings a lot of new colors to the clouds and the sky overall, which is gonna create for some pretty beautiful sunrises and sunsets in the simulator. Also, we have wake turbulence also added, so this is definitely something that's going to make the sim more realistic. It's something that real life pilots have to watch out for, is the wake turbulence when they're landing or taking off for the aircraft in front of them. So they've really taken it to the next level here with the new simulator for all the stuff that they're going to be modeling in game. So Asobo have modeled every single ship in the world, so every cargo ship, or I suppose like a yacht, or those really big ships, they're all going to be modeled, and some of them have helipads and you'll be able even to land on them, which I think is pretty cool. So speaking of helipads, they also are adding every single helipad in the game, which is just staggering to me considering how many helipads there probably are. It probably took them a while to find every single one, but for the people who like to fly helicopters, this is great news for them. Personally, I'm not too big a fan of helicopters in the sim. So going back to these ships that they're adding, they're also adding like proper water physics. The water is gonna be reactive to the airplane, so if you did a water landing, if you were to do it on Flight Sim 2020, it would just seem like you're landing on grass or something, but the water is gonna have proper physics. It's gonna look really nice and detailed, and not just like a generic blue texture. So adding on to that, Microsoft have added even more detail with people in the airports. There's going to be people walking around the terminals, people walking onto the jet bridge, and you should be able to see people boarding the plane, which is pretty interesting. I believe this is only something that you can get at the moment if you have GSX. Personally, I don't have it, but from what I've seen, that's a feature on there, so that should be coming to the default sim. We're also, a big thing that they touched on as the trailer is a full-fledged career mode where you'll be able to rank up and I suppose fly bigger and better planes as you progress in the system. So this will definitely appeal to a lot of people on Xbox, I think this is something they'll enjoy. And I'll probably make sure to check it out once I get the new simulator, and I'll make some videos of it if that's what you guys would like to see. So another big thing for Xbox users is that they're adding basically a built-in flight planner, and I think this is made in partnership with Working Title, but this is going to be pretty big. It's essentially built-in SimBrief. So for most people that play Flight Sim on PC, they use SimBrief to plan all of their stuff, but Xbox users don't really have anything like SimBrief like natively built in, so this is going to be pretty important, pretty big for them, and it might be better, it might be worse, but only time will tell. And also regarding the replay mode and the current sim, it's just in like a beta kind of phase. It's not, you have to go into the experimental tools to activate it, but in the upcoming Flight Simulator 2024 it should be all done and finalized, and hopefully have more functionality and should be a lot easier to use. I covered a video on the current replay mode in the Flight Simulator, and it can be a bit complicated, so I made a video to explain it if you guys would like to go watch that. So moving on to more stuff they're modeling in the sim. They've added all glider clubs, all glider airports. They've added those to the sim, as well as every single oil rig, which some of them should have helipads so that you can land on them as well. It's crazy how much the level of detail they're really putting into the sim. Like, they've added so much stuff, like the oil rigs, the ships, the glider clubs. Honestly, I don't know how they do it. It's pretty impressive. It's basically becoming like an Earth simulator at this point. And also, they've partnered with the Love VFR add-on. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's a really cool add-on that a lot of people that fly VFR in small planes, they really enjoy. It adds stuff that wasn't really included in the simulator, like cell towers and smokestacks and all that stuff, power plants, wind turbines, those kind of things. And you're able to download it from the internet, but it looks like Asobo is going to be adding all these structures in game. So that's definitely going to be good news for the VFR pilots. So that's all the information I have to cover today. That's all the information that Asobo released about the upcoming Flight Simulator at the FS Expo. Definitely a lot of important news and a lot of exciting things to look forward to for the upcoming game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if this video is helpful to you, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.